Then the honor guard welcomed the president, each holding golden swords. The Arab swords stand for justice, strength, and sovereignty in Saudi culture. But the most meaningful symbol of all, a mobile McDonald's truck. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. But Trump didn't grab a Big Mac. He had other lunch plans. The Saudis hosted the whole cabinet, plus American business titans at the royal court. On the menu, miso beef with fermented vegetables and bacon crumbles to start. Main course, grilled black Angus and silky potatoes. And an extra virgin olive oil parfait with strawberry salad for dessert. But they barely had time to eat. They were too busy cutting deals.
We have the biggest business leaders in the world here, and they're going to walk away with a lot of checks for a lot of things that you're going to provide. And in the United States, it's probably 2 million jobs that we're talking about.
Executives from Coca-Cola, Citigroup, IBM, Delta, United, BlackRock, Google, and Amazon, all in the desert with Trump. Also, Musk was there. Big balls stayed in D.C. to watch the fraud. But 47's the main attraction. He managed to shake every hand in the kingdom. If you were a Saudi citizen, you probably shook his hand.
I mean, this is actually something that people consume on a daily basis, not to criticize it the way I am and to call out this bizarro world, but like people are consuming this as news and it's anything but. Let me just bring you inside the propaganda machine so you can see how it worked, because I want to try to show you how there's a large portion of our country that's brainwashed by this crap. So here you have Kayleigh McEnany, who literally worked in the prior Trump administration, right? So she's a state regime propagandist, and here she just lies. And so she makes up, she goes, Biden officials are in shock and awe about all of the great deals Donald Trump is cutting in the Middle East. They're like, how can he do such great deals? Okay, let me fact check it before I play this clip. Okay, former President Biden brought South Korea and Japan together, which is what China has done recently. Okay, former President Biden added 2 new nations to NATO, strengthening NATO like never before. Okay, former President Biden put in the hard work and actually did real deals. Donald Trump going to the Middle East to grift and take bribes is not that impressive, while he sells out our foreign policy and sells out our domestic security to countries that fund Hamas and countries that fund Al-Qaeda. Okay? Let's report on it accurately, you morons. Here, play this clip.
There's this piece written this morning about all of these Biden administration officials that are watching this with shock and awe. And they said, here's one quote. There were almost a half dozen of them. When his personal instincts, Trump's, coincide with national interests, it's pretty remarkable how quickly he can move. That is a Biden official watching this in awe. The investments pouring in, the international deals, the reshaping of the world order. President Trump's the ultimate deal maker. Biden officials are noticing it, and they're even saying it to the press.
And the fact is, they're saying, let's create a relationship. Our approach is not going to be telling you how to run your country. Yeah. We're not going to be taught. And some people are upset by that, but he says our focus is going to be you focus on your country, we'll focus on ours and how we can work together.
Yeah. And dialogue. You only get somewhere when you have dialogue.
And then they have Brit Hume. I'm Brit Hume. I talk seriously, so I must be taken seriously. Look how I talk. You have Brit Hume saying these deals by Donald Trump are clearly going to be helping the economy. These deals will inject, and I'm saying it like this, so I must be authoritative. They inject necessary strength into our economy. What are you talking about? Him going to the Middle East to take bribes for himself is supposed to help. How is this helping our economy? Phony deals, $1.2 trillion. It's ridiculous stuff. Play this clip.
Your thoughts about, the president's messaging and what he's delivering and getting delivered on in this trip?
Well, these deals that he has outlined in the Middle East, and I guess there are more to come even after today, will obviously be welcome news for the U.S. economy, and I suspect for the economies of those countries in the Gulf area. The bigger question, it seems to me, is whether this furthers the U.S. security interests in that region, and whether it betokens from what we've seen any kind of a break with Israel as it continues to struggle in Gaza and with Hamas. The president is not visiting Israel, as has been widely noted, and that has been taken to mean something. How much we'll find out, I guess.
So then they have Kevin McCarthy go on Laura Ingraham's show, and you have Laura Ingraham say the following. She goes, and when you went, this is what Kevin McCarthy goes. He goes, the problem with Biden, you would show up into the Oval Office and he would give you a cookie. He would give you a cookie. Here, play this clip.
When you went to the Biden White House, nobody was there. Nothing was happening. And then when you went to the Oval, where everything happens with the president, people coming in and out, nothing was happening. And when you went in to see the president, he asked you if you wanted a cookie. Joe Biden would.
Okay, what are y'all even talking? This is what you're covering? So then they got to bring in just some utter madness. So here Jesse Waters brings in Kid Rock, who says liberal women are ugly because they've got to be misogynistic and just disgusting human beings, these MAGA Republicans. Play this clip.
When you play your concerts, do you ever see anybody with blue hair, armpit hair, female armpit hair? Some of these people we're looking at, kid, I don't know.
Man, listen, I was just watching your clips, and we have this low birth rate in America, and it all made sense to me. It just hit me right now, because who's going to sleep with these ugly ass, broke, crazy, deranged, TDS liberal women? I mean, you look at these rallies, it's like a bunch of women that no guy wants to sleep with and a bunch of dudes that want to sleep with each other.
Then they said, okay, how do we distract from Donald Trump's awful, awful trip? How do we distract from the fact that Americans, by and large, other than MAGA mushbrain idiots who watch this network, want Donald Trump to be nowhere near proximity to power? And so their new one is James Comey took a photo of seashells that says 8647. That's a death threat, they say. And so now you have Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, I think that we're taking this very seriously. And former FBI Director James Comey, I think he should be arrested. Here, play this clip.
Do you believe Comey should be in jail?
I do. Any other person with the position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be, I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life. And James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
And then it's always projection and confession with these idiots. So Donald Trump, we've shown you multiple clips of this. I don't need to show it anymore. Donald Trump was like falling asleep and drooling on himself over and over again on this Mideast trip. Like he couldn't stay awake. He couldn't complete sentences. Go back, and I don't want to play Trump clips on this video. So just go back in my other videos if you want to see the receipts. He couldn't speak in a sentence. Go back and watch the videos I did of him. They were gibberish, word salad. And so here they're saying, President Biden would always fall asleep, but Donald Trump is acting with dignity. Trump was sleeping the whole freaking trip. What are you talking about? Play this clip.
But when I go through this, and the things that we all saw in public, I don't think anybody can say that they weren't concerned about his abilities. When you look at the June 27th debate, when you look at him falling down, falling asleep, I'm looking at Donald Trump in these meetings in the Middle East, and then I look at the clips of President Biden literally falling asleep in the middle of an international meeting.
All right, then you got to call in Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz says, even though birthright citizenship is literally in our Constitution, Ted Cruz goes, I think birthright citizenship is a terrible policy. Hey, Ted. Hey, Teddy, it's not a policy. It's in the Constitution. But sure, go ahead. Play this clip.
That is the absolute heart of the argument. And I think birthright citizenship is terrible policy. It is right now current U.S. law before the Trump executive order that if an illegal alien is here and she gives birth to a child, that baby is instantaneously a U.S. citizen. The problem is that's an incredible magnet for illegal immigration. You see people crossing the southern border. You see pregnant women crossing the southern border explicitly to give birth in America so their baby can be an American citizen. We also have this phenomenon called birth tourism, where